space. Been weaker, it's been waiting for the right day. Like the right day ever comes, now it's Friday. And nothing's changed. Mistakes that everyone is making, but I can't change. I'm stuck in reverse like an old Benz. Forgot to tap it up. Now I long for another day where things fall into place. So if you're down, I'll be down. Pack your bags, fill them up. We can go tonight, take a flight to a higher ground. How does that sound? How does that sound? So strange, why it always feels like it's too late. Waiting another year and it's too late. But that's not true. It's not strange to quit another job cause it was draining. To try a different road though it's been fading in your mind cause of time. Now I long for another day where things fall into place. So if you're down, I'll be down. Pack your bags, fill them up. We can go tonight, take a flight to a higher ground. How does that sound? How does that sound? Let's start over. Let's start over. Let's start Say you don't wanna be with me, but you miss me as soon as it's over. Your name lighting up the screen, but you never call when you're sober. You say you don't like the games, but you play me like there's no tomorrow. You should know that I'm fed up with your lies, so don't come closer. You know you hurt me bad and I have scars. I need some time to heal, so don't come over. Don't even bother calling, just get lost. I'm fine on my own, so don't even bother to come back cause I ain't done. I'm fine on my own, and boy, your pretty little lies are getting old. All the nights I have wasted on you are gone cause we are through. All the nights I have wasted on you are gone cause we are through. You say you don't wanna be a thing, but I'm not the one who's calling. I'm tired of waiting for you to change into someone who can love me. But you play me like there's no tomorrow. You should know that I'm fed up with your lies, so don't come closer. You know you hurt me bad and I have scars. I need some time to heal, so don't come over. Don't even bother calling, just get lost. I'm fine on my own, so don't even bother to come back cause I ain't done. I'm fine on my own, and boy, your pretty little lies are getting old.
everybody. Oh, okay. I have to say, I think I kind of nailed that little transition hootenanny there to get going. Now, I will say the music could have had a better vibe, like maybe a little more upbeat. I kind of just grabbed a playlist that I had from before, and it was maybe a little too chill for a Friday because, like Bowling with the Fef says, Friday. Yes, it is Friday. Super pumped to be here with you guys. We're going to do a live Q&A today. So just whatever questions you got for me. So I actually am going to talk a little bit about getting out of your own head a little bit because I think that's important. I'm going to share some thoughts around why we kind of hold ourselves back a little bit, So what's up, Tish? Tish is here in the house. How's it going? She says, whew, I made it. So I got to say, I just want to say this though. First of all, if you're here, love it. Thank you for being here. Make sure you say hello in the comments. I definitely want to know that you're here because I see that we've got all kinds of live viewers, but I've got a few of my friends hanging out, some Mel Maniacs. This came up last night. I was on the StreamYard channel last night with Rob Greenlee, and we were talking about podcasting, video podcasting. Anyway, and Davidson's All Natural Gym, I'm pretty sure you're the one that came up with it, if I'm not mistaken. He said, I'm a Mel Maniac. Maniacs. He means maniac. Mel Maniac. But anyway, it just was really funny. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I just saw this. So Rob told me, I didn't go back and look at it, but his computer crashed, which is interesting. And yes, StreamYard will do that. So that's actually one of the crazy things. If you lose power, if something nuts happens, then, like StreamYard will continue to keep it on. So a lot of people don't realize that it's one of those things. So, all right. So I want to talk about that intro. So here's what I did. I'm using Wavelink. Many of you that have been here before know that because of my Elgato Wave 3 microphone that I love, it comes with companion software that allows me to basically create a virtual audio mixer. So I can actually push other pieces of audio to the stream. And I was listening to Epidemic Sound in my browser, and I was pushing the browser music to the stream. That's how I was able to basically put music out there for you guys. So that music, I'll work on that. All right. I'll work on getting a better, more upbeat list again, back to it. So now I'm using OBS virtual camera so that I can use some animations and some scenes that I like to use in my OBS that don't come automatic in StreamYard. I am pushing the stream out with StreamYard. Okay. So this is absolutely powered by StreamYard, 100%. So love StreamYard. It's my favorite tool for streaming. There's more news there. If you want to hear about the news of StreamYard, them getting bought out, we can talk about that. I don't know a lot, to be honest with you. I know a little, but not a lot. So what I did was I was using OBS Virtual Camera to have the overlay, right, with all the fun countdown. And then I pushed this scene right here. I turned the volume down on Epidemic Sound. I hit this button so that it went to this scene. And then in StreamYard, before that little animation ended, I clicked on my little intro video. And I got to say, I kind of nailed it. So if you didn't see it, when you go back, watch the replay, watch at the end of the countdown. I did kind of like multiple things here. And it kind of all goes back to, and one of the things I wanted to share with you guys today, because we're going to talk about leveling up your live streams. And I see some questions coming in. So keep the questions coming in. David, since I got you, I saw your, definitely saw your question. I've got it starred, so it's queued up. You have to sometimes have a little bit of a workflow, and you need to understand what kind of show do you want to produce. Do you want to add extra elements? Do you want to add the animations? Do you want to have this like intro thing? So something I've introduced recently is, I have my little countdown, right? I get started, but then right before I come on screen to start my content, I'm playing that little intro video. And that intro video is a nice little just like commercial. It gets people fired up. It's great for new viewers who maybe don't know me. They can just kind of see it. But for me, the main point of it is simply that it adds a little flair. It just adds a little flair. No differently than when I put my favorite shades on when I'm getting started and I'm dancing. The other thing I like about the sunglasses, by the way, is it just gives me a little like freedom to be like, okay, looking at everything, making sure everything's good, looking at comments. And I don't feel like I need to be looking at you while I'm getting ready because we're just playing music and it's a countdown. So these are not, I'm letting you in on a little secret here, everybody. So this is a little secret. This is not just to look cool. Part of this is also just so that I can like kind of have a little bit of like, I wear my sunglasses at night kind of thing, right? Like I can just kind of do my thing. I don't have to worry about making eye contact with the camera. All I got to do is focus on what I'm focusing on. And then when it's showtime, these bad boys come off and we get going. So, yeah. So anyway, saying hello to everybody. Marianne's here. Great to see you hanging out with us. We got Smart Life Ideas. Hello. It's great to see you. Let's see. We've got Marcus. I saw you. Hello, my friend. It's great to see you. Creator Classroom is of course here hanging out with us as always. It's been pretty great to see you here. You're like one of my regulars at this point, right? Let's see. Okay. I see a comment from Creator Classroom I want to highlight here in a second. And then I just saw Joanne. Yes, Joanne's here. Great to see you. So we're going to be live today. I know a lot of you love to go catch Luria's stream at 1:00. I think she's live today at 1. I feel like she is today at 1. So anyways, we're going to be hanging out here. I've got some questions coming in. I am going to answer questions 100%. So definitely, if you've got questions for me, put a Q in front, as you can see others doing, then I will get to your questions and we'll go from there. But all right, so I do want to talk to you guys today. It's been a while since I've been live on the channel. Been live for, StreamYard more regularly, but I have been traveling like a crazy person since January. It has been really crazy. I mean, I have literally been gone more than I've been home, and I'm not really sure that I could ever say that's ever happened for me. Like truly, literally I've slept in hotel beds more than I've slept in my own bed. And we're at the back end of that. So I am literally kind of rounding out the end of this major, first, 5 months of the year travel. So I'm super excited to kind of get back to kind of like home and also just sort of like figure out what's next. I can tell you that one of the things that's coming up next is I am going to be relaunching my podcast. So if those of you that don't know, I have a podcast out there. It's still out there. I haven't published to it for quite some time. We aren't going to talk about that. It's called DIY Marketing with Melanie Diane Howe. I am going to be rebranding that podcast and I'm going to be releasing new episodes. So I actually am going to relaunch my podcast with 5 episodes. So I am halfway done with those episodes. So hopefully before the end of the month, that podcast will get relaunched. It's going to be a little different. And I'm going to give you a taste today in just a few minutes of what you should be able to expect from that podcast. So if you've not already subscribed to the podcast, then go subscribe to it because let me see if I can find a fun overlay for this because I think I took them out. Never mind. Act like I didn't say that. But if you go search wherever you listen to podcasts, DIY marketing, I forget what it's called. It's not DIY marketing school. It's DIY. God, will you guys just give me a second? I'm sorry. Ridiculous. So it is going to be rebranded, but my point that I'm getting to here, very funky. Yeah. DIY marketing school with Melanie Diane Howe. I was like, I think it has school in it. It's going to be rebranded, but my point I'm making is if you go subscribe to it now, then you will get notified when I relaunch with the new episodes, with the new name, with the new brand. It's going to be similar, but different. And when I say different, I'm still going to be sharing helping you market yourself, helping you put yourself out there. It's still going to have a heavy emphasis on creating content, live video, especially video, whatnot. But it's going to be more about the emotional piece. It's going to have a little bit more of a touchy-feely, warm and fuzzy, motivational aspect to it. We're going to get a little deeper. I'm going to peel back layers and we're going to talk about vulnerabilities. We're going to talk about insecurities, procrastination, perfectionism, things I've talked about before. But I'm going to take the conversation a little broader. And when I relaunch this podcast and you hear the new name and you hear the whole reasoning behind it, I think you're going to really like it. I think you're going to find that the goal of the podcast is going to be less tactical. Still going to be plenty of tactical things in there, right? Because I can't help myself. But it's going to be less about tactical and it's going to be more about helping the mindset of the creator, the mindset of you to do more, to stretch yourself, to, just to do bigger things, quite frankly. And so I'm going to talk about some things today that are going to give you a little bit of a kind of an idea. So if you're like, what the hell is she talking about right now? Where is she going with this? We're going to talk about creating better live videos today, but I'm actually going to I'm not going to teach you anything today. I'm not going to teach you anything that's like how to or tactical or upload this overlay or add an extra camera or use some music in your intro. We're not talking about that today. We're not getting tactical like that. That lava lamp needed a little zhuzh. So I zhuzhed it. That's what we just did. So maybe that's what it should say is I'm going to help you zhuzh here, zhuzh yourself here so that we can get some better content out there. So, I didn't prepare any like slides or banners or anything today. I just wanted to like come on and get a little bit like deep with you. So then I'm going to answer questions, but I just got to take a quick check in the comments real fast, make sure we're all good. We are good to go. Rocky Superstar's here too. Good to see you as well. Okay, so listen, here's the James, fine. I'm surprised he hasn't sent me a text that says the same thing. All right, we're there. Okay, cool. Thank you, Marianne. Marianne said she found the podcast. You will find some good episodes in there. They're just a little old. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. But it's coming back. I swear to God, it's coming back. All right, so here's the deal. One of the things that I think that is important, that I talk about a lot, that you hear a lot because it's not new news, is how important it is to be authentic in yourself when you are creating content online, whether it's just social media stuff or whether it's videos, courses, emails that you're writing to your audience, all of these things. It's very important for you to be authentic. And the main reason that you need to be authentic, there's really two major reasons you need to be authentic. One, it's important that you're authentic for the audience so that the audience can understand who you really are, so that they can feel a connection to you and they can trust you. And I will tell you, if you're not authentic, it always rears its ugly head somehow. Sometimes it takes longer for that inauthenticity to come out. Other times it's quick and easy to see. And all of this that we're doing, all this work that we're creating is all about building trust. You want to build trust with your audience so that they want to stick around with you. They want to subscribe. They want to stay. Marianne, like just like that, boom. She's like, I'm following your podcast. Like 100%. She didn't even have to like, well, what's the podcast about? Is it really my style? Blah, blah, blah. She already is part of my community. So Marianne she's watching from Australia. She's been here for a long time and she hangs out with us and she already knows me. She already knows me, right? She trusts me. That's why she's here. But the fact that she, without any hesitation whatsoever, was like, found podcast, subscribed, boom. That is because she's in my trust circle, right? She's that type of audience member. And the reason I'm sharing this is because Marianne she wouldn't trust me if she didn't feel a connection to me, the authenticity, right? Me sitting here like, oh, I got to shake up my lava lamp. But I am very much scattered when it comes to content. And those of you that know me and been watching know that about me, but like Tish. But at the same time, some people, that drives them crazy. Like they're like, oh, I cannot watch that girl. She's kind of sometimes scattered and whatever. That's fine. They're not for me. But by being myself, I'm being authentic for my audience. I am attracting the correct audience members and I am repelling people that won't like me for who I am or won't appreciate it. And it's not that they're bad people because they don't like me. It's not that I'm bad because they don't like me. It's just that we're not for each other. It's no different than dating someone or deciding who you want to be friends with, right? So that is the number one reason why it's very important that you are very authentic in yourself, as yourself, online, in a podcast, no matter where you are. Personally, I think authenticity is like the most important value that anyone can have in their life, everywhere, whether you're creating content or if it's on social media, it doesn't matter, okay? The second major reason why authenticity is so important when it comes to creating content and being an online person that you want people to follow or learn, you want them to learn from you, is because if you're inauthentic, you will not survive. Meaning you as yourself, you will not make it. You will start to resent your content. You will start to feel disconnected from your audience. It will be more work. It will take a certain type of energy from you that will rob you of the positive energies. Because if you've ever done this, and I think that everyone has done this at some stage of their life, probably more so when you were younger, or maybe still struggling with it as an adult. It doesn't matter. I think many adults still struggle with this. When you are trying to, attract a certain type of person in your life, whether it's a group of friends that you're like, I really want to be in that circle of friends. And they may be, you start to, all of a sudden you're like, sweet, I'm in the circle of friends now. And all of a sudden they sort of have some values maybe that don't align with yours. I'm just going to use a really stupid example, like just because it's coming to my mind for some reason, because I actually kind of remember this from my childhood. Maybe you're there and they're like, oh, they're doing drugs. Like they're doing drugs and they're like, here you go. And they're passing me the drug. And I don't want to not do the drug because I feel like this is an after school special all of a sudden. Does it feel a little bit like an after school special? Because it's kind of going there, but we're not going to go there. But here's what it is. So they're like, everybody's passing the drug around and they hand it to you and you're like, oh, what do I do? I don't want to say no because I don't want them to think I'm not like them. I want to be like them. So you do the drug. And then next thing you know, it's time to hang out with them again. And guess what? They're doing drugs again and they're handing you the drug and you do the drug again. And then you go home and you're like, I don't want to do these drugs. And you feel like crap. And you're mad at yourself. And you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. And then your parents are asking you what's going on, why your grades slipping. And you're like lying to them and all the things, right? You get where I'm going with this. To be inauthentic is kind of like telling a lie. And to keep that lie up, you have to tell more lies. And nobody can keep up with that. It isn't healthy. It just doesn't feel right. And it starts to rob you of your energy. And then your mental health becomes a challenge. And we're going really deep here. But it's a thing. All of a sudden, you're now like other people that you probably would be amazing friends with that have the same values of you. They look at you and they're now associating you with this circle of friends that they're like, that's not me. I don't want to do drugs. Then they're like, that girl, she's not for me. Now what you've done is you're attracting the bad fits and you're repelling people that are a good fit. And so if you're inauthentic online, if you're doing drugs when you don't want to do drugs, whatever. If you're inauthentic in your content, you're inauthentic online, all of a sudden you're now attracting the wrong audience. So if you're doing something because you think it's what people want, and one of the examples I'll give you is that so much of, TikTok and Reels and all these things, it's all this like comedic sort of stuff. And if you're just not naturally feeling like you want to be dancing in these videos and doing these things, and that's not feeling like you, then you shouldn't do it. Because you're going to attract all these people. They're going to be entertained by content that's not really you. And all of a sudden, you're going to go create something that really is you. And they're going to be like, who's this chick? What is this? So it's kind of like living two lives. And so the other thing that happens that will wear you out and you will quit and you won't stay with it is that you have a persona online because you think it's what people want and you're getting the views and you're getting all the likes and you're growing and you're going viral because of these crazy, pieces of content that you're creating. And all of a sudden you meet someone offline. You go to a conference, you go somewhere, you go out in your community and someone is like, hey, I follow you, or hey, I love your stuff, or blah, blah, blah. And are you going to be that same persona in person? Or are you going to be who you really are? And what signal is that going to send at that point? And I know Tish, the artist Haven, she knows this because she and I actually went to an event last year. And I was just talking about this the other day, last week on StreamYard stream. Is there are people I have met who I have followed online. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love their stuff. And then I actually get the opportunity to meet them in person, in real life. And they are nothing like they are in real, like at all. And you're just like, whoa, what in the world? And I won't name any names. I will never name names. But then you meet people and you're like, they are exactly the same in their videos as they are in real life. And that matters because when you then meet that person, you have the opportunity to meet that person, and then you go back and then you watch another video or you keep watching their content or listening to their content or whatever, you feel even more connected. You trust them even more. And you're almost like all in at that point. You're a lifer. You support them. You appreciate them even more because you had the video version and then the real life version. And it 100% just takes everything to such a more enriched level. massively enriched. And so the reason why this is important is the main reason is simply that if you try to create this version of you because you think it's what people will like and it's not truly who you are, you won't be able to keep it up. It will wear you out and you won't be able to stick with it. I promise you that's what's going to happen. And so that's why authenticity is so important. Those are two major reasons. There's 1,000 other reasons why authenticity is important, but those are the two most important reasons, in my opinion, when it comes to being a content creator. And sometimes people struggle with being authentic for lots of reasons. And one of the biggest reasons is because they are afraid of what others will think of them, or they're afraid of being judged, or they're afraid of, it not working, right? And honestly, when you avoid doing something you're supposed to be doing or being authentic or whatever, like it feels like it's just not simple, not easy. It's almost always, and I say almost, and I really just want to say always, but I'm going to say almost always because I don't like to speak in absolutes. It's just safer. It gives me an out. It's fear-based. You're afraid. So, there's something that I'm very, very passionate about, and that is getting people to believe in themselves exactly as they are, and your personal brand, all that stuff, and putting yourself out there and knowing and trusting that you are absolutely worthy and you are absolutely good enough. You don't need to change yourself. You don't need to change who you are to put yourself out there and make connections and create content. You don't need to figure out how to be more exciting. You don't need to figure out how to be funny. You don't need to figure out how to change your personality so that it works better for the algorithms. You are already who you're supposed to be inside of you. You just need to figure out how to let it out more comfortably. And that's what I am mostly passionate about helping. And that is what that is absolutely a big piece of what this new podcast and my content moving forward is going to lean more into. I have talked about these things before. I have gotten deep before. I've had moments of passion around it. I've done presentations on it, but it's never really been the anchor aspect of my content. And so I'm moving in a direction where the anchor is going to be all about building this confidence and creating energy and creating momentums and, quite frankly, courage. I'm going to say it. I wasn't going to tell you guys, but the new podcast name is going to be called Creating Courage. That's going to be the new name. So again, if you're already subscribed to DIY Marketing School with Melanie Diane Howe, it's still going to be very much about helping you do your own marketing, but it's very much going to be focused on creating courage and doing things and creating a piece of content. Going live for the first time creates courage. So we're going to be talking about all those things, but the main anchor is going to be all about this, getting you this courage, getting you this motivation, getting you this pumping belief into you, helping you overcome these fears, because everybody has fears. All of you watching, you all have fears. And so it's important to understand them and to embrace them and recognize them so you can do something about them. So I think a lot of times people try to avoid their fears or try to, be above them, be bigger than them. But the best thing you can do is to recognize them. Be like, you know what? I'm freaking scared of what people are going to think. If I go create this funny reel that I really want to make and be dancing and pointing at words or whatever the hell you want to do, or maybe you want to start saying shit on your streams or in your podcast, but you're afraid of what your mom's going to hear and what she's going to think. Well, guess what? It's going to happen. You are going to be judged no matter what you do. You're being judged if you don't do things. So why not just do exactly what you want to do the way you want to do it, the way that's really inside of you? Because somebody's going to look at that and be like, that's really silly. That's really dumb. But then somebody else, maybe probably most likely more people are going to be like, that was really awesome. But if you keep avoiding doing it, then nobody gets to see your awesomeness. So it's very important that we recognize what we're afraid of so that we can then work towards getting through it and working with it. So embracing your fears. It's all about embracing your fears. And again, owning them inside. You don't even have to really tell anybody what you're afraid of, but you do need to be honest with yourself, right? And so this whole concept around authenticity is the word authenticity. Everyone knows what it is. We all understand what authenticity is, but that doesn't mean that it's easy to be authentic. The concept is simple, but doing it is not. It doesn't feel comfortable for everybody. But I will tell you, just like everything else, if you work it like a muscle, it will get stronger and stronger and stronger. And you all of a sudden know that deep down, I mean, hey, let me be honest with you. I worry about what people think all the time. I have many of the same fears you have. I've been doing this long enough to know that I know that on the other side of whatever I'm afraid of, I will survive. I will not die because I went live unprepared or because something went wrong or whatever it might be. I have done enough where I can just kind of like work through the fears very, very quickly. Now, believe me, I have plenty of debilitating fears and issues just like everybody else, right? But I feel like I'm at a place where I can share things with you and we can have these conversations around what's holding you back so that you can overcome these things and work through them and create more content and get yourself out there and stop letting your gifts go ungiven so that more people can learn from you, more people can connect with you, they can trust you, they can subscribe, they can buy, whatever all the things are. That's the goal. That is the goal. That is the goal here. So, I 100% let the cat out of the bag way earlier than I was planning. And I also have not really been looking at your comments, so I'm scrolling up right now, and we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna address your comments here. But I wasn't gonna announce the podcast today, but there's two reasons I did. One, I just couldn't help myself because I was literally about to say, we need to create courage, because creating courage, the reason I love the name so much is because creating courage, we're all creating, right? We're creating. And so, but we also need to be creating courage so we can create more creations, right? And so, as you all know, I believe in the concept of action is what creates courage. So many of us wait for the courage before we take action, and it should be the other way around. So you need to take these actions, and then it builds courage for yourself, and then you can create more. So we are creating courage, and we are creating through that process. And so I'm super excited about it. I feel like I need to go just get it done and get it launched and go. But the other reason I wanted to share it with you guys is because you're my people. You're my people, and you've been here and you've been through, you've been around forever, and you guys are saying so many amazing, wonderful things in the comments, and I love you so much, like seriously, and I appreciate you, but I'm here to do this with you and for you and with, right? You should be getting the sneak peek. And then I guess the other reason is just, sharing it with you all. Man, I better get my shit together and get it done, huh? So it's one of the other reasons too. So super excited to have shared that with you guys. Tish is so sweet. She said, I don't feel alone when I watch Mel. She's like a sister from another mister to me. We jam to the same tune, even if that tune isn't for everyone. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I definitely, like I said, I feel even more connected to Tish because I met her in person, and I actually got to interact with her in an event, and I just love that stuff. So I like this. Marcus says, I'll dance in videos because I like to challenge myself, but it's still authentic. I don't take myself too serious. Absolutely. So again, that's perfect. He likes to challenge himself, so he's stretching himself. Listen, being authentic doesn't mean don't do things you don't normally do. You can absolutely try new things and do things that feel uncomfortable. You just need to go about it in your most authentic self. That's all I'm saying. So I love that. I love that Marcus shared that. That's actually fantastic. Yeah. So Creator Classroom, if you saw me in person, I'd probably be wearing something you've seen in the videos. Yeah, same. I mean, I probably should, dress up a little more for my videos, but yeah, whatever. This is who I am. Let's see. Love it. So I love it when you guys meet people. I went to a consumer show recently and met a few followers. It was such a joy to talk in person. I brought gifts to give in case that happened, but didn't really expect it. That's so fun, Joanne. I love that. That's exciting. So this is great. So Jennifer with the Creator Classroom says, I was terrified to show my face on camera, but then I realized, what, if someone tunes out because they don't like who I am as a person, then they don't need to be there. Yeah. I also love Creator Classroom that you changed your profile picture. So your profile picture used to be a logo, and then all of a sudden it was probably, what was that, about a year ago maybe? You showed up in the comments and I was like, oh, there's her face. And I love it. So I do believe in face. I do believe turning the camera on, putting yourself in your tutorials, putting yourself on camera. People will connect with a face. They remember a face. And again, it just creates a connection. They can look in your eyes and they can see you. They can see it just feels real, feels more real, right? And so I love that you got the courage to do that. Well, hello, Austin. It's great to see you. I have not seen you in the comments for some time. It's good to see you watching. Okay, good. Marion approves of the name. Yay. Okay, I'm super happy that you approve of it because it does matter to me. So that's great. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, so you guys, I know I told you guys I wanted to do a Q&A. So let's do Q&A. So if you've got questions for me, I saw a few questions up there. Oh, Tyreek, you're here. It's good. You're late, but you're good. You can always go back, right? You can always go back and watch the replay for sure. So, planned schmans, it's so funny. Oh, good. Got some good feedback on the name. I like it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Oh, great question. I clicked on it. So bowling with the Fef. I'm gonna go back and get the other ones, and we're gonna do it. So hey, John, it's good to see you here as well. Okay. Is it okay if your logo is your face? Yes, of course it is. So Bowling with the Fef, if you guys can see, obviously, he's got like a kind of an animation of his face. That's his logo. 100%. In fact, I feel like this trend got kind of popular, actually, quite frankly, during the pandemic when there were just more creators coming out. And I just feel like I started to see more of like animations and avatars being used in people's logos. And I do think that it's completely okay. In fact, I love it, especially, you got the beard, you got the kind of like the features, the glasses, the beard. It's a thing. I actually thought about doing something similar because obviously my hair, I thought about something kind of fun with the sunglasses and the spiky hair would have been pretty cool. I still might, find a way to create a caricature, if you will, as your logo. I totally think it's okay that your logo is your face. I do. I think it's great, actually. So good question. All right, so let me jump up. I had some questions in the starred comments that I want to get to. So if you've got questions for me, feel free to post it with a Q in front so I can find it easy. And I'm gonna grab the questions that were here. So Davidson's All Natural Gym. Hopefully you're still tuned in and watching. But so he said, how long will StreamYard hold the stream open if your computer crashes? So we were talking earlier. So if you're using StreamYard to stream and you lose internet or your power goes out, the StreamYard is actually, so think of it this way. Your computer is pushing the stream. It's happening from the cloud. The cloud, let me actually take it this way. The cloud is pulling the content from your computer through your internet connection. It's going live here. It's pushing it out to the internet, but it's pulling the content from your computer. It's all here. So if your computer loses power and it loses signal to the stream, it's still pushing something out to the world. It's going to basically, like if I were to lose power to the stream, this is what would happen right here. Oh, no, that's not what. That wouldn't happen either. Hold on. I'll show you what would happen. Basically, my camera would go away. So whatever is behind my camera, my background, is what would show up. And there would be no sound, all that. So like general settings, turn off avatars. All right, so this is what would happen, literally. It would just basically go to the background. And if whatever's on screen, so if that comment's displayed and it just went away, that's what would happen. And so because that's what's here. So it's still pushing that out. How long will it do that? I actually don't know the answer to that question. To be honest with you, Davidson's All Natural Gym, I really don't know. I don't know if it's 5 minutes. I know that it's longer than a minute though. I want to say it's 10 minutes. I don't know why that's in my head, but I feel like I remember this coming up one time during one of Dan Engage's town halls. I want to say it's 10 minutes, but you cannot quote me on that. I actually don't officially know the answer to that question, but there is a cutoff, I believe. I wanted to point this out because I liked this. It's not a question, it's more of a comment. So Jennifer says, I've been holding myself back. And last week I had a crazy, crazy thing that happened and it propelled me to stop with the fear and stop holding myself down. Love it. I love it. Hey, listen, I will tell you guys, if you feel that you're holding yourself back, you are going to need to do a little bit of work to figure out why you're holding yourself back. And the answer to that question is not always easy to uncover, to be honest with you. So it's not always easy to understand how or why you're getting in your own way. Sometimes it's not even easy to recognize that you're the one in your own way. Maybe you think it's something else. Maybe you think it's someone else. It may be hard for you to uncover the real reason, but you are going to have to do some reflection and some thinking, and you're going to have to spend some time with it and just explore it in your mind. And I am not a therapist at all, but I can certainly tell you that I know that it is not always easy to uncover, and it does take work, and that work is up to you to figure that out for sure. I'm going to grab... Thank you, Jennifer. She's looking to see if she can't find the answer. That's okay. I know that it cuts off after a while. So we're all talking about this. That's actually pretty funny. So Coffee Talk and Tech, John says, long enough to get on the stream from your phone. I agree with this. So so if this were to happen, and Joanne, I think, had this question. She said, so what's the best steps to take if that happens? Reboot computer, revisit StreamYard window, and you will suddenly be back on. So I actually have had to reboot my computer in the middle of a stream. This is why I like the be right back screen, because if you ever are having something major happen and you need to reboot your computer in the middle of your stream, then having a be right back screen is very smart. When I say be right back screen, I've got this one right here. So that would just be on loop. It's just a video that goes on loop. As long as you have your looping setting on. So the be right back is nice, because if you turn that on and then you reboot, then that will stay on. So if you have a video playing when you lose power or internet or anything, that's what's going to be happening for your viewers. So if you need to intentionally do something, I like the be right back screen, or just make a banner really fast if you don't have one and just type be right back and then just display it and then do what you need to do. If you lose power, Joanne, if you lose power, there's no rebooting, of course. But to what John said, you need to get your phone out, go to StreamYard.com. Probably going to have to do the login process because you probably haven't been on there. And log in, and you will see the stream in your dashboard, just like you do on a computer. You need to go into that stream and either go in there and not add yourself to the stream and end the stream, or get on camera and be like, sorry, everybody, my power just went out. I guess we're going to have to end the stream early tonight, yada, 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 because I can't really continue on my phone. Or if it's just content and you want to stay on your phone and continue, then just stay on your phone. So as long as you can get back into StreamYard, then you can end the stream from that. So you can do it from your phone, a tablet, or if it is something where, your internet decided to go wonky for a minute and lose connection and you lost it and you have to get back on, well, then go back into StreamYard, go back into the stream. And if you enter the studio, you're just back on, just like, and everyone's like, oh, she's back. And that's it. So, but if you want to just be done with it at that point, then you have to end the stream from inside StreamYard, or at some unknown time, it's going to end your stream. So definitely one of those things for sure. Jennifer's finding out for us. Fantastic. Then we'll know the answer about that. So yeah. So good discussion. That's definitely one of those things. Johnny says Google Plus Live videos used to be 12 hours before cutoff. Wow, I have no idea. So I think Rob actually told me last night, I don't know that it was his internet. I think he said his computer crashed, which I think his computer was acting up because his audio was, a little bit wonky. And then when he was trying to show a video, it was buffering a lot. And I think he maybe was overloading his computer a little bit. Yeah, so Marian says, my camera battery died, so I went on StreamYard on my phone and got back on. So yeah, so if you're using, a mirrorless camera, a DSLR camera, and you're using the battery instead of a dummy battery so that your camera's plugged into the wall, then that can happen as well, and you have to get yourself onto another source. So same thing would happen. If your camera died, it would just be like that. It would kaput. You would actually still have audio like you hear me now, but that's what would happen. So, and then you can, like she did, you can just get on your phone and enter the stream again, which is one of the things that I think is so cool about StreamYard is how it works on your phone too, just like that easily, because it does allow you to have a backup plan when you need it, for sure. Yeah, in the chat, like Johnny's point, the people in the chat can absolutely still be talking to each other. They're still hanging out with each other, so... All right, so I'm going to get back to questions. I saw Tyreek had one I want to start really fast before I lose it. Where did it go? There it is. Okay, next question. Bowling with the Fef. He said, ran a giveaway a while back with the StreamYard giveaway tool. It picked a winner, but the winner never reached out to me. What now? It's up to you. I mean, it's kind of like when you get a lottery ticket and you win money and you never turn it in. The lottery is not going to go find somebody else to give that $1 to. They're just not. So whatever you were giving away, keep it. Or, I mean, here's a thought. You could just act like nothing ever happened. You don't need to, like, if it's something really major that you want to give away, like a signed Travis Kelce helmet or a signed guitar or how about this? A signed bowling ball, considering you bowling with the FEF. If it's really, really special and you're like, I really want to give this away, well, then you're going to have to go back on and maybe do another giveaway, which you're going to have to announce like this person never reached out. That could be tricky because did you give them a timeline? I've never even thought about that. I've never even thought about, oh, if you don't reach out within, 1 week, I'm going to give it away again. So I don't know. It's kind of up to you. I mean, my ideas would be keep it, repurpose it, or just act like it never happened and just do another giveaway later. And you don't even need to say like, somebody won this, but they never reached out to me. So if you have their information or you know them and you want to reach out to them proactively, you could, of course, try that. I think if you have that opportunity, you could reach out and say, hey, you won the giveaway, but I never heard from you, but I found you. Do you want this? That might be a good way to go about it too. But that's kind of up to you, my friend, for sure. Okay, let me see. So Creator Classroom says, I'm curious what the difference between being scrappy and just being crappy. Okay, here's what this. I have that phrase. Scrappy does not mean crappy. So scrappy is really just you getting it done the way you need to get it done. So I'll give you a quick example. I used to have a second camera, an extra camera that I brought into StreamYard. And I did it with I had a second webcam and it was behind me and it was a little behind the scenes cam. This is years ago. So if you guys have been around for a while, you might remember it. It was like my old Logitech camera because I had upgraded my other camera. And I literally didn't even have it on a tripod or a mount or anything because I didn't have one. You know what it was mounted to? It was on a picture frame. It was literally on a shelf behind me, clipped onto a picture frame. And it was pointing down behind me. That was my scrappy background camera. And it wasn't crappy because one, nobody even really needed to know that that's what was happening. And it got the job done and it was cool and people loved that background view. And they didn't need to know that it was just like sitting on top of a picture frame. I actually thought it was kind of genius because it's still like I had this camera that was always in my downstairs office and it wasn't on a tripod and it was on a picture frame. But that's being scrappy. Like I figured out a way to do it. Think of it as like duct taping things together. So like if you duct tape something and it fixes it, it's a scrappy way to fix something, but it's not crappy. Now, if it had duct tape and it was showing everywhere and it was ugly and it was like crappy and it just wasn't actually even solving the problem, that's crappy. It's not solving the problem. So scrappy to me is you just getting scrappy and figuring it out and just, it's not perfect and it's not fancy, but boy, it gets the job done and nobody really even needs to know the difference. That, in my opinion, is the definition of scrappy. It's you just figuring out a way to get it done without, needing to go to all these extra lengths, which is going to take longer and all the things. So now my background camera is on an actual tripod because, again, you advance yourself and then you can upgrade your scrappiness, right? So that's what I think the difference is. So Davidson's All Natural Gem, can you say or do you know, is Bending Spoons keeping all of the current lives they do on the YouTube channel? So I can't answer that question because I don't know the answer to that question. I do know that Dan and Gage are no longer with the organization. Don't know why or how. All I know is I know that David on his YouTube, in his if you go to the StreamYard community on Facebook, there was a post he made. Someone asked the question and he simply said, Dan and Gage unfortunately have decided not to continue on with StreamYard. And so I do believe that Dan and Gage are going to be working on something new. I think they're going to go off and create something amazing and new. That's just, I think, the way they are. I don't know that for certain, but so I know that live, that Dan Engaged town hall live won't go on anymore. They may introduce a new town hall with different people, but I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue creating live videos for them. I certainly hope so. I have no idea. So hopefully we'll know, soon what their plan is. I know that they are kind of like getting settled in and just figuring things out. I know that there will be changes to the team as always with acquisitions, but again, I'm not really privy to what those specific plans or details are. Certainly will be happy to share with you once I know and am able to, for sure. Not any reason not to. So Tyreek says, any tips or advice for anyone wanting to pursue a degree in business administration for marketing? I mean, I love it. That's fantastic. My minor is actually in business administration. I think that I think with any type of situation where you're trying to decide what you want to major in, I think that there's a lot of pressure on kids to figure out their majors really early, and they end up picking a major, and then they do it for 2 years, and then they realize it's not what they want to do, and then they do one of two things. They either change their major, they stay in school longer, or they end up with a double major or triple major because they change their mind so much, or they stay in the same major because they're like, well, I don't want to delay my graduation. And they stay in the same major, which isn't really the right fit for them. And then they graduate with a degree they're never going to use. That is so often what happens. Or they graduate with a degree that they don't want. And then they're like, well, now I have to go to grad school to get the degree I do want. So I personally, I have lots of thoughts around this topic, to be honest with you. But I think it's completely okay for kids to not go straight into college if they don't know what they want to do. I think that it's completely great and fine for you to go explore options. I love to recommend that kids shadow people in different professions that they're interested in. Like, go shadow them. Most people are not going to say no to you. If you say, can I just shadow you for a week this summer while I'm out of school, or can I come shadow you after school for a couple hours? I want to, experience this job. You don't need to do anything. I just want to shadow you and just be there. And most people will say yes. And so then that gives you a good feel for what it's like to be in that environment, whatever. You might even get some mentorship and some insights from that person. And then, of course, internships are a great way to explore options as well. But I like to tell people, hey, dabble in some things. Don't go all in. And I didn't pick my major till right before my junior year. And I ended up in college for 5 years because of it. But guess what? I basically went into the profession exactly what my major was and have a very successful career. And no, it wasn't marketing, and it wasn't content creation. It was graphic arts management. But anyway, point being, I think you got to dabble in some things and interview people, explore your options, and make sure it's what you want to do before you pick it. That is my advice to you, my friend. Okay, let me go back to live comments, because I saw a bunch coming in when I was answering those questions that I had in there. Let's see. Okay, cool. So Joanne said she learned now that she can, she said, I learned a valuable lesson. Our power went out for 2 days recently, and I had a show scheduled with a guest, had to cancel. I learned to always get a phone number to call instead of email. That's really smart. Yes, that is actually a good idea. I highly recommend when you have a guest that you do get their phone number for 2 reasons. One, in case you need to talk to them, like she said, like with an emergency. But also, what if you need to reach out to them? What if you need to actually talk to them right before you are live and you need to text them? So I think it's great. All right, Jennifer's got the answer for us from, she said, Trevor, with StreamYard support. The stream will continue for 7 minutes with no one being in the studio before it would end on its own. Okay, so 7 minutes is the answer. So it's not 10, it's 7 minutes. I think that's a good amount of time. It's enough time where, hey, if you haven't been able to recover and get back in there, it's probably good to end it. But it's also like enough time to give you time to get in there if you need to. So Johnny said, I do giveaways every show, and I do 4 shows a week. I tell them to text me. I have a text line. If they don't reach out, I save it for next time. There you go. So Bowling with the Fef, that's what Johnny, that's his thoughts around the whole unclaimed giveaway. I like this. See, scrappy is finding a way to get it done, not giving up. I love that you added the not giving up piece, because I totally agree, John, that being scrappy is your way of not giving up. Like if you keep trying something and you can't get there, you got to figure it out. You got to dig in, figure it out, and just get scrappy if you have to. So I love that he said not giving up. Marianne says, like MacGyvering something, not the prettiest, but gets the job done. Yes, I love that. What was it? Wasn't there a Saturday Night Live skit that was like, it wasn't, gosh, what was it? It was something. There was a Saturday Night Live skit about that, I think. MacGyver meeting. Yeah, so Jennifer's referring to Gage. Gage put a little miniature public announcement out yesterday. Essentially what I think Gage shared is that he and Dan they wanted to buy StreamYard back and they weren't able to get the deal done. And so I think that was surprising for a lot of people, and it was a little sad because, it just things didn't shake out quite like they wanted. And Dan and Gage built this product and have been a huge piece of the community, and they've built the community, and it's kind of like, that was a little bit gut-wrenching when you read that Dan and Gage wanted to buy StreamYard back. And then they weren't able to make that deal happen. So listen, I'm excited. I think, the opportunity of bending spoons bending spoon, is it spoons or spoon? I think it could be very intriguing. I think it's always an opportunity when something like this happens for a new focus towards the product. Maybe we'll start to see some things that we weren't seeing before. I will tell you personally, for me, I would like to see the stream quality itself improve. Like just a cleaner signal. It is not due to internet. It is not due to things like that. I definitely I know stability is huge. And so by not pushing out a super high, frames per second signal, that does make the stability safer. But for me personally, I just feel like people's cameras and the quality of our streams, we're ready for that little bit of an upgrade. I don't need 4K, but I am wanting to see a little bit of an improvement in the signal that's getting pushed out so that's crisper for sure. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't even need a bunch of features. That's what I'm looking for. Lawrence, there will be riots if Mel isn't doing live streams on the StreamYard channel. Okay, the riot might be just in my studio, but still, I love it. I appreciate you. Video for Bosses is here. Great to see you. Great to see you live for sure. So let's see here. I want to see if I have any more. I will say, yes, Lawrence, Jennifer, Career Classroom, you guys were fantastic supporting me in those comments in the post that was put in the StreamYard community. I definitely love and appreciate all of your guys' support. It means the world to me. I read those comments and it just kind of made my heart kind of flutter a little bit. So it means a lot. It does not go unseen, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it for sure. So Mel will find a way. I hope. Let's make it happen. Right? Let's make it happen. All right. So you guys, I'm going to probably wrap this up. If you're just tuning in, I will tell you, if you're tuning in, you're going to want to watch the replay because I made a little bit of I kind of let the cat out of a bag. The cat out of a bag. I let the cat out. Yeah, I let the cat out of a bag, and I announced something I wasn't planning to announce. And I shared a little bit of detail, and it has to do with my podcast. But I also will say that, probably when you get to the 10-minute mark of the stream, I kind of started, I gave some deep thoughts around authenticity. And that's a little bit of a preview about what you can expect from the new podcast in regards to the style of content that I'll be sharing over there on the new podcast. So right now it is called DIY Marketing School with Melanie Diane Howe. So make sure you're subscribed so that when the new stuff does come out, you're already there and you won't have to find anything. It's just simply going to be ready to go. I do see a quick question from my girl, Video for Bosses. I'm going to answer this and then we're going to get out of here. She said, I started a new Facebook account and tried to rejoin the StreamYard community, but got rejected. Does anyone know who I could reach out to? Yeah, I saw your comment on the YouTube stream and I responded. My question for you is it a business page that you're trying to join with, or is it a personal profile? That would be because the business page may be getting rejected and I don't know what their rules are, honestly. I have no clue. Your best bet might be to just reach out to StreamYard support. So you can get on the chat. Like Jennifer got on the chat earlier, and Trevor, who by the way is one of the sweetest people in the world, he gave her the answer. So maybe you can get on the chat and see. She said, okay, personal profile. I have no idea why they would reject you, but they shouldn't. So I would definitely get into support and see if you can get somebody to help you out there for sure. But if not, send me a DM. Because it's a new account. Maybe there's a, you know what? It might be an automatic thing. It might be an automatic thing because new accounts typically are a lot of times spam. So it could be that that's happening, but if maybe just reach out to support and I would 100% see if they can get you in there, because unless it's an automatic thing, I do think that Facebook sometimes will have weird restrictions with stuff like that. So it probably thinks you're spam. So I would just get to StreamYard support and see if they can hook you up for sure. So, all right, everybody. Like I said, we're gonna close this one down for today, for this Friday. It was great to be here with you guys again. Super appreciate y'all. And yeah, I'm excited to kind of like get out of this travel, spout that I was in and get back to some things. And so make sure you're subscribed over to the StreamYard channel. For now, I'm still creating content over there. Hopefully that keeps going on. So yeah, we'll see what happens there, but I'm always going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm always going to be here. So again, I appreciate y'all. Have an awesome weekend. I will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.